Okay. Are you guys still there?
Yes.
Are you there?
Yep,
Okay.
we're here.
Okay. So, I thought there was. Oh, okay. I'm giving feedback, so I have to figure out the button to click so I don't hear my voice coming back always. Okay, I'm gonna meetings in YouTube. This tab is playing audio. Okay. Okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. And I'm not getting feedback. So we are, ladies and gentlemen, we are live streaming on March the 22nd at roughly 7 p.m., a virtual meeting. It's important to notice that this meeting will be held electronically in order to ensure transparency. An audio recording of this meeting will be live streamed on YouTube on the Village of Mayor for Wolford Committee's YouTube channel and posted on the village's website after our meeting is concluded. Having said that, just remind folks that Mike Cameron sent his regrets this evening. And having said all of that, I will turn the meeting over to our fearless chair, Jan Fitzpatrick. And just to confirm, Scott is on the line, Sarah's on the line, and Angie is on the line. So, hello.
Oh, Angie's on the line too? Perfect. Okay. Hello. So we will call call the meeting to order. Thank you very much, others, for doing all this for us. And Scott, Angie, and Sarah are all with us, correct?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm here.
All right.
I'm here. It just seems to take me a while to unmute.
Oh, okay, perfect. So is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest in the nature thereof? No.
None from me.
Scott?
No, nothing.
None from me either.
Sarah, you're okay. Perfect. So we'll carry on to the approval of the minute. Approval of the agenda? May I have a mover for the agenda?
I can move that.
Okay, moved by Scott. The seconder?
I could second that.
Perfect. Thank you, Sarah. All in favor?
Yep.
Yes. Perfect. Moved. Okay, so we'll do the approval of the meeting minutes of August 31st, 2021. Did everybody have a chance to read them?
Yes.
Yes, I did.
Any omissions, errors, or things to note?
I don't think so.
None noted.
I wasn't there for that meeting, so I don't have.
It was so long ago.
Yeah, I think
They were written a long time ago too.
yeah, I think they were written as was, and I think it was pretty. From what I remember, I think they were very good. So with that being said, may I have a mover for acceptance of the minutes for approval?
I can move on that again as well, if you'd like.
Thank you, Scott. And second?
Am I allowed to second meeting minutes I wrote?
You are?
I would suggest, Angie, yes, it would be appropriate for you to second, particularly since Sarah was not at the meeting and she might not vote on the minutes as well.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So you have Angie as your seconder, Madam Chair.
Yeah. So all in favor?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. So the minutes of August 31st, 2021 have been approved. And the approval of the meeting minutes of March 16th, 2022. Were there any errors or omissions noted?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't, yeah, I don't think there was.
Okay, so do we have a mover for approval of those minutes of March 16th, 2022?
I can do
I
that
can-
for you.
Oh, nice.
Sarah?
Get
And
out
a
of the habit of
seconder?
just letting.
I can second that.
Excellent, thank you. So we're now on to the, Mayor
So-
Struthers,
Yes,
just as a point, do we have to do a separate motion for the motion that we put in it? Do we have to do it on a separate paper, or are we allowed to just keep it in the minutes that are going to be forwarded?
they can be forwarded as they are in the minutes. And yeah, I was going to comment on that if I might. That, excellent, I mean, great layout of the minutes. Thank you, Angie, but more particularly, really, really well worded. So with the approval of the minutes of March the 16th this evening, I can, I'm not sure, actually might be better if at the end of the meeting, Angie, if you could forward the minutes to Doug Robertson. He'll be, as the clerk, so he can ensure that it's on the agenda for this upcoming council meeting on Monday. And then we can get the council's, approval, et cetera, to move forward with registering for participation.
But I don't have to do that like in the past. Anything that we had motioned had to be on a separate legal document with like I've got templates for that. I can type that up and attach it.
Perfect. That'd be great. Thank you so much.
Okay.
And
Does that
Angie?
answer your question from me, Jan?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Angie, do you have are those motions all numbered?
Probably I can check.
It's not important, but if we can even go back and if I don't know how many have been put in before, so, but it's not imperative, but if they can resource them as per the number, like motion number RW1.
So all the other ones have a number with them, yeah. So I'll just add to the next number.
Perfect. That's awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're into the Participation Community Better Challenge. And so we're going to discuss that now as far as what we can do. That was moved forward, right, from last week?
That was my assumption for the agenda, was that having put it forward, we now need to take time to start thinking about what we're actually going to do if it is going to be approved by the council.
Exactly. Has anybody got any ideas?
Well, I liked how when we did it last year and it was very informally done, the majority of the information was through Facebook, because that's how most people will hear. Given we don't have a lot of time, I think we should definitely do some sort of social media push so that people know to register and to register as part of the Merrickville-Walford team, so that everything they do adds to the group account.
If I could suggest, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to suggest one of the steps to keep in mind might be, and I'm not sure the technicality of this, but will the committee be able to set up that Facebook page? And I don't know what the right word is to manage it, but that would make it, how do I want to word it? As opposed to municipal staff, right? You folks are going to have your finger on the pulse of not just encouraging people to participate, but also whether you may not do it all tonight, but entities that you're going to contact and or individuals, so whether it's the seniors exercise group, or, or the schools, don't forget we have 3, right? Merrickville Public, Saint Marguerite, and the international school, Merrickville Prep.
Mhm.
Do we
So you
want a
could-
separate Facebook page, or do we just want to tap into existing Facebook pages that people are already accessing, like Voices of Merrickville? Like, because if we do a separate Facebook page and nobody knows it's there, it's not going to go anywhere. So we need
That's a
to, I think we
yeah.
need to advertise it. So like if we let Voices of Merrickville know, for instance, then that's one way of getting it out there. And then once people know, and encourage them to let their friends know, because I don't think there is. And the other place we need to post it is on the municipal website.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. So maybe these are all points sort of to jot down, that rather than the committee managing a Facebook page, reaching out to everybody. So at some point you might want to generate a list of sort of the anybody and everybody that you'd want to reach out to, with the information about and how they go about participating, etc.
Yeah, we can maybe have a standard blurb that we send out that they can all post. It's our words that are sent out, but we don't have to manage the page individually, kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, I think that would be better, because if you do it, if somebody has to manage it, then if they are, for whatever reason, not on the ball all the time, then it becomes worse than helpful. Whereas if we just put out a blurb and other people put it onto their Facebook pages, then it doesn't have to be kept up to date. And if we can have it on the municipal website with a link to Participaction to tell them where they have to go to register, that's what people want. After that, you don't really have to do much other than just remind people to get out there and be active.
And we could also, I was looking at all of the community boards in the village. There's one at Food Town, there's one outside of the post office, there's one at Main Street, that people who don't have Facebook can still, maybe we can put a poster up on those community boards for people to see, with some very basic direction as to go to this website, download this app, and track your
That's a good
activities.
idea. Yeah. And is anybody on Twitter or something like that? Because
No.
Nobody in the group is on Twitter.
No,
Not me, no.
No, me neither.
No,
We need a young.
yeah, we need someone young. If you're not on any sort of, if you don't have any sort of technology, you don't have a phone, you don't have that, how can you participate? Is there a way? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say, the only way I know to participate is to log in online. And you have to be able to log in all your activity unless it's done through a group. So if you were doing it through school, for instance, and the school was logging it, they can do a single upload of all the kids. And maybe we could do that for, like, for instance, the seniors group. I don't know that there are many people who would be participating who would have no access to anything. I'm
just thinking that, because there are people who don't have computers, there are people who don't have cell phones, right? Or they, don't know how to use it, but they walk their dog every day, and they go to the library, and they walk to the grocery store. And, our everyday activities actually count towards this, because they're doing something, they're moving, they're not getting somebody to do it for them, they're actually involved. And although you don't look at that as being participation, but it is action, right?
I remember even cleaning your house is one of them.
Absolutely. So like, everybody's gonna have a clean house for sure. But, things like that you don't think about. It's just like, oh, I'm not gonna be bothered, I don't have that, but too bad, so sad. But if we can get, the more people we get to buy into it, the better it is. Or maybe they do it through a buddy program or something, and they team up with somebody who does have the technology, who can do it for them. You record it by, paper and pencil or crayon, whatever, and then, give it to their friend to upload it, maybe. just so that that demographic doesn't get missed, doesn't get, you know, get left out, because that's the, you know, that's the difference of having everybody involved, or, you know, or everybody having the opportunity to be involved, whether they choose to or not. Just a thought.
No, I think it's very important that we do let as many people have the opportunity. I'm not sure whether it would help if somebody, one of us, agreed to, you know, to help those who couldn't log in, and then they can, and were willing to upload the information if they don't have a friend who would do it for them. I mean, maybe that's something we could put on. You know, if on the poster, if we could put a contact as to who you could contact if you're not sure how to register and you're not sure how to record. I'm not an expert in this area, but I did do it last year, so I do remember most of it, and I could probably, it wouldn't take long to work out how to register somebody else or upload information from somebody else. So I don't mind being that contact if you want.
What does everybody else think?
Yeah, I think Angie as a contact sounds excellent.
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, I don't want to say that out loud, Scott, but
Yeah, I think it sounds like a great idea.
yeah. And Angie, if you get the information, if you would put your name as a contact, and then if you know, happen to get swamped, then teach somebody else, and I would help you.
Okay.
I have never been on Facebook. Well, I've seen Facebook, but I don't participate in Facebook. I don't have an account. I just do the stuff that I'm allowed to do, or some stuff that I can see. So I am so out of that scope. I'm one of those people who didn't have that ability last year to do any of that. No data, no internet, no, you know, whatever. So it's just sort of like, yeah, oh well. So I did stuff, but I certainly couldn't upload it, right? And I didn't go to my buddy to say, hey, can you do this? So, you know, that was my situation. And then I can't be the only person, I'm sure.
Oh, no, I'm sure you're not. I think there are probably people who just didn't bother last year because they didn't know how. But I will certainly I'll do some research then and find out what happens for those people and how to make it possible for them to participate. And then you can put my number down as a contact for anybody who doesn't know, for more information.
Awesome. Okay, that's super.
I really like the idea of putting the posters up around town. Would there be any way that we could maybe take that maybe a step further and maybe make like small little, almost like bag stuffers with the same information on it, and have like local merchants put that into, like at the grocery store, for example, they could put that in with the grocery receipt as well. So we're contacting as many people as possible.
Great idea. We did that with theater night in Marrickville, actually, and it worked really well.
And so we would have to get these printed up.
I could make a couple of comments here at the moment, if that's okay. I think these are awesome ideas. Just so I don't forget, there is also a bulletin board out in Easton's Corners.
Okay.
However, you know, and the other thing is, you know, when we get registered, you know, and ready to push the button kind of thing, we could arrange, I don't know whether it would be under the umbrella of the municipality, how it would work, but have a bit of a, I'm not sure if it'd be a press release necessarily, but certainly put something in the Phoenix, in the what is it, Kemple Advance, and I always forget the paper.
Not Kemple, then they're a competition.
Well, yeah,
I'm teasing.
I know. Yeah, well, I'll put Nancy Peckford on notice. You know, get she's in the back of the bus. But at any rate, something a little, you know, kind of formal, you know, announcement in the papers, you know, and our website, etc. And then, but on the point of printing, and I know there was a great, well, I'm not really too sure how it would have worked. Nonetheless, you know, we missed the deadline for some kind of a grant. we more than have, bravely said, money to be able to, have some printing done. Whether we do it in-house photocopying, probably cheaper to go to Coba, but to get X number of, well, certainly to do posters is not a problem. That's pretty easy, because there would be what, a couple of dozen at a guess. But the smaller things to put in, initially, whether it be at the coffee shop, the grocery stores, the restaurants, I think that's a really, really good idea. And I don't think, I'm trying to think if, the last time I got business cards printed up, not municipal ones, just for my own over at Coba. And it's, whether that's too small or not, the point being, it's definitely under $100. It might have been around $50, and you get what, 200 in a box. So it's a really great idea that is not over the top expensive to do.
And I'm good friends with Chris, who works at Coba. I can get some quotes when we kind of know what we're looking for. I can reach out, and I don't know if we can do that or if it has to go through council, but I have no problem reaching out to see what kind of the price differences are and what options we have for sizes or color printing versus black and white or anything like that.
Yeah. If on the note of
Awesome.
finances, I don't know if we need to put a sort of say this is the budget. But it may be something that at some point the council approves expenditures, or saying to staff, anything up to, pick a number, $1,000, $10. I'm not sure what it would be.
Mhm.
And who actually goes out and does the actual purchase. It might not be the advisory committee, but we can certainly set that up so there isn't any confusion going down the road, number one, and not any roadblocks going down the road either.
So would that be something we bring up at our next meeting once we have had it approved, the initial part of it approved through council?
Yes, I would think you'd get a bit of an idea of some of the things that might require spending money on. And, I don't, whether you get estimates or quotes or just ballpark, it could be in the magnitude of X number of, let's say, hundreds of dollars.
Okay.
And then we can go through the process to see how that financial approval process would work.
Then I'll put that on my to-do list then between now and our next council meeting, is to get some dollar amounts for however many posters or bag stuffers or whatever. And that can be something we can talk about as far as budget at our next meeting, if that works for everyone.
Be perfect.
Sarah, that would be good.
Sounds great.
Quick question though. In the publicity, we need to target the community, not our customers. All right. So there's a lot of people come to Merrickville who don't live in the community, and they won't be part of our target audience because they can't register for here, can they?
So maybe it's more on the poster route than the bag stuffers.
Well, that's what I was thinking, because I love the idea of the bag stuffers, but then the majority of those will end up going to people who don't qualify.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you put them at the places where we would go, the drugstore, health center,
right,
food town,
town hall, food town. People that, so if somebody else gets it that's not local, in food town, so be it. But most of the local people will go to those spots, right?
That's
not that they don't shop locally, they do, but you're right about, everybody else and their dog. They might just register all in Kempville. No.
What about something like the post office? I know it's a federal place, but would they be able to have a stack of them maybe put at the post office counter where it's all local people going through? Or
I don't
well,
think
certainly on the bulletin board in front of the post office. And as I mentioned, Easton's Corners, but there's I'm just thinking of putting posters up for, say, Canada Day. It's the library, it's at the bank, it's the pharmacy, I guess 2 pharmacies now. Where am I missing? The health center you mentioned. There's a wee bit of a list that covers up the Easton's Corners, Centennial Hall. Where else am I?
The library, just by the way, is is awesome, and the library is an awesome resource too, because some of those people, Angie, that maybe we can tap in with Mary Kate, and Mary Kate is very technically savvy and does amazing work. And if we can tap into that so that she can even show people how to do it on
It's a fantastic idea.
In the library, we can use maybe the library as a big contact.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
I can talk to Mary Kate about that.
Okay.
That'd be awesome, Jan. Thank you.
So that, and if there's a way, because she would know. And I think of all the stuff that they've done, they've done for everybody, right? And she's the heartbeat of that, and no non-locals are going to go there.
Yes.
So
I have
Okay.
another one,
I'll
so
talk
I
to
don't
you.
forget, if you don't mind me jumping in, Madam Chair. Many businesses may participate not during their workday, but when they go home, whatever. And I think I mentioned before, you might be a server at a restaurant. You can log in your number of steps. So
Absolutely.
there's a it might be a different kind of a notice, maybe the same, but the municipality can reach out via email to plus or minus 150 businesses in Marrickville-Wolford. So it could be a little bit of a different notice to them, explaining how they might participate, whether it's during the workday or, hey, register, and when you get home and you take the kids for a walk, the dog for a walk, whatever, join up. So there's 100, as I say, 150 different businesses. Not all of them, will figure out how to do it or do something, but at least there's 150 entities that with the push of a button, they can all get the same information.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Reach. That's great. So, does anybody have any graphic backgrounds?
Nope.
No,
No, huh?
but I
We-
mean, I grew up in the era of using computers for all reports and projects and stuff, so I could probably mock up a poster fairly easily. If not, I can talk to Chris at Coba to do that with me. He does that all the time.
Exactly. Well, I was thinking about how to get that in kind from him, but
I'll just call
But,
him over and ask him to show me how to do it if I can't figure it out myself. But I think I can probably handle at least a mock-up of it to bring to him to say, make this look nicer, but something of this in this vein.
Just
We're
think
working
along those lines, years and years and years ago, Lorna Gendreau, who was kind of the initiator of the idea of having some trails in Marrickville-Wolford, and she had a stylized MW. So we're not on
Yeah.
video, but you can imagine doing something with the M. The M was sort of on top of the W, showing Marrick, and those were the little round signs she had depicting the trail to follow. Maybe there might be something that you can do with an M and a W to make it look like exercising.
Yeah, I'll
bit of-
see what I
bit of a-
can.
Bit of a branding logo.
That's also,
Cool.
that made me think of, there's the signs at the trailheads for that as well, that we can put up some posters where people are already out doing walks.
Yeah.
There's those two big
Exactly.
boards right at the mouth of the trails.
Exactly. I was just going to say, and if we get a hold of Tim Allen, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we get a hold
I
of
can do
him
that
and-
because
and-
I'm part of the Trail Society, so I can let them know.
Perfect. Perfect. 'Cause that's a everyday occurrence, right? Almost. Okay, so once we get the go-ahead from council to do this, assuming that's going to happen, Participation will send us a welcome kit, will they not? Does
I
anybody
believe they
know
did
that?
that last year. Yeah.
Yes?
I'm not sure. I think it was Katie who set us up last year.
It was Katie.
So I didn't see
But
any
yeah.
of those packages or
But
In the,
I'm
in the
assuming,
package, if I, in the package or somewhere, I know there's, is there a, not a website, but an email address you can contact to sort of talk to somebody one-on-one? I can't recall if I saw that or not.
There's a
I thought there,
newsletter.
I don't mind doing the registration, like actually physically doing it, and I will happily communicate with Participation to find out what it involves from our end. As soon as we have approval, I'm quite happy to do that.
Perfect.
perfect. Okay, so do we continue to just kind of mull this over and brainstorm again, or like kind of, do we have enough information to carry on and do a little more digging ourselves and then go from there? Or do we wait for the next meeting and then we'll have either the go ahead, well, we'll have the go ahead from council, I'm pretty sure, and then do our, you know, call to arms and do our packages and get it all out to hit the ground running, I guess, in April.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm just on the website for Participation now, and I see that, yeah, you can request a community event kit when you apply while supplies last, and that helps you organize events for your community.
That sounds useful.
Okay.
It doesn't
We
tell you
can't-
what's in the kit, but it just says to get them while supplies last.
Okay.
So
So Doug, when,
sorry, just trying to like looking at timelines. So when council meets next Monday,
Yeah.
assuming that they approve, can we then register right away?
Yes.
Okay, so once I've heard that council has approved, I will happily contact Participation and get that kickstarted.
That sounds awesome. And I will start reaching out to Chris at COBA to get some quotes for some posters or some either business cards or stuffers of some sort. And I'll see if I can mock up at least a draft of a poster to bring to our next meeting to run by everyone. I can also make that little blurb that would go out to the different Facebook groups locally, because it'll be similar information between the poster and that blurb. So I'll have both of those ready for the next group.
and that would be great. And then based on what you do with that, then we can take that basic information and then put it into the business side of it, you know, reword it a little differently or try to maintain, so we have kind of branding with each one that we have, so we keep it kind of together.
Okay.
So that
Yeah, that sounds great.
information, the message is the same to everybody, but targeted to the particular group.
And now, do we know anything, Doug, regarding if next meeting would be done in person, or is it going to be done over the Zoom again?
We're staff are looking at the month of April, so maybe in person.
Okay,
Don't want to give a date.
possibility.
It's a possibility, yes.
That's April,
Okay.
though. That's April, Sarah. Their meeting is on this Monday in March.
Oh, no, sorry. I just meant when we have our next meeting, would it likely
Oh.
be over Zoom, or is it going to be in person? Just out of curiosity.
That'd be nice. Okay,
Hope
Sorry,
springs eternal. It'll be soon. Later. I mean, you know,
exactly.
I love talking to people on the phone, but man, oh man, it's so council. Well, all meetings are difficult when they're always Zoom. It's, you know, not the same as being in person.
Okay, so if we've got that, everybody's kind of cool on where we're going then. We've got Angie's going to register, and Doug, she is allowed to register on behalf of the community, correct?
I will confirm that. How's that?
Okay, because I think that's how we put it, that we would be the lead on the participation, or we've asked to be the lead. So in that case, that we register, and then if it has to be the municipality will be advised of that, right?
Correct. Yes.
And I would assume that we could at least sign up Merrickville, Wolford, no matter what, right? Because it doesn't have to go through council. People can do it as community members like last year.
Yes,
So that
Yeah,
part
that's
is
true.
fairly safe. It's just the how we go about advertising it that we have to wait if we can put
Okay.
council's name behind it or not.
absolutely,
Fair
100%.
enough.
Okay.
Fair enough. Perfect. Thank you. Cool. So
This is exciting.
Mhm.
I know. Look at my theater going back and forth. Does that count?
Maybe.
Oh, Lord, I want to count for blood pressure. No. Okay, so are we, anything else for the Participation Community Better Challenge? Does anybody have anything they want to add? No?
Not at this
Okay,
point.
so, oh, sorry.
I just said not at this time.
Oh, sorry, thank you. Okay, so we'll move on to the Ministry for Seniors and Accessibility, MSSA Inclusive Grants. Story, I don't know what this is about.
Okay, I can speak to it briefly. There was a grant that was the deadline. I can't remember whether it was January or February, but quite some time ago, that someone had forwarded to saying, you know, is this an opportunity you might want to look into? And I think it might have come from one of the directors of the chamber. The chamber decided not to pursue it at that time, and the person thought that there might be benches and so on that could coincide with the grant application that had been sent in for street lamps throughout the municipality, and no one was taking up on it. But it also had apparently recreational. I'm not sure how to word it. Not recreational structures, like sort of a one-off that you could have dotted around. I don't know, around a baseball field, that kind of thing. It wasn't going to meet the deadline. I don't believe, or would have been extremely close. When I looked at the website, though, some of the structures were very plastic looking. But anyway, rather than critiquing that, when you delve in a little further into the grant, the process, and then the focus, and I can't remember whether this was, I think it's provincial as opposed to federal. Priority was going to be given to communities that had been hit hard by COVID-19 or were First Nation communities. So, the likelihood of whether we got an application in on time, of being successful, who would know? There's only so many dollars in the pots, but also there wasn't, from our point of view, not a game plan of, well, what would he be asking for and where would they go? I think it just underscores that, from time to time, there are grants available for, we'll call it exercise structures. And someone was telling me there's a trail, I think, if it maybe call it a trail, somewhere on the east side of North Grenville. And every now and then they have stations. You can do chin-ups here, or another one you can do. I'm not sure what. So not necessarily for an agenda item, but it's something that this committee could, over the course of time, think that, is there merit at looking at having those kinds of structures around, and then you fill in the blank. Would they be around the racetrack? Would they be at Centennial Park and Easton's Corners, or not the kind of thing we, need to have at this time? Anyway, it's just something for future thought, but I just want to particularly let you know that there are those kinds of grant opportunities that come up from time to time. And also, though, always keep in mind, whoever is putting together the grant, they sometimes have, priority focus. And this one in particular, to repeat, was for communities hit hard by COVID-19 and First Nations. So
I have the program 2022-2023 application guidelines here. And yeah, it says while communities of all sizes are eligible and encouraged to apply, priority will be given to projects that target small urban or rural communities and support diverse populations of older adults or people with disabilities. So I think we probably could apply, like we would be allowed, we missed the deadline. It was March 3rd. But I have the document and I'll forward it to the group when we're done and we can read through it. And maybe if we have the resources to look into next year's grant application, or if we can come up with some ideas that warrant a grant application, we can do that for next year's plan.
Cool.
It's a huge document. It's like 25 pages and it's really well laid out with subtitles and like a clickable appendices kind of thing that we can just jump through. But it says like $1,000 to $25,000 or up to $50,000. I don't remember. It was a good amount of money, but yeah, like Doug said, you have to have kind of a pretty solid plan when you do your application. So it would have to be something that we plan well in advance to say, this is what we would plan on doing with the money, as opposed to applying and then getting the money and then deciding what to do. So yeah, it said up to a total maximum of $60,000 per successful applicant, but it must be submitted by March 3rd of 2022. So next year.
Well, if it's a yearly grant.
I would assume so. It doesn't necessarily, this one just says Ministry for Seniors and Accessibility Inclusive Community Grants Program for 2022-2023. So I'll send it forward and we can flip through for next year.
That's great. That's because it will be there after purchase action. We'll almost be in it. Doug, do you know? I don't know, and I don't know if there ever was, but has there ever been a needs assessment done for Marrickville Wolford? Just in terms of the organization, like, is that something that management has ever done, or any of the, like when they did the economic development, did they ever do a needs assessment of the total area?
In terms of recreational?
Well, in terms of everything, in terms of population diversity, in terms of recreational, in terms of health, in terms of building, in terms of housing.
Not to that extent, no. Not the way you're describing it, no.
Sure. Okay, I just wondered because we look at things like this, and then if we look at where our needs are in our community and defined needs versus wants and stuff like that, it might be able to help us narrow in on specific grants, or to look for looking at in those areas, because I'm sure there's lots of grants out there that we don't even know about.
You're quite right, and not all grants are annual, just to keep that in mind.
Right.
Right. But I'm not sure if the Recreational Advisory Committee in the previous term, or like 4 years ago, did a survey on, as opposed to looking at needs, but just a survey on what people would like. I'm not sure. Were you on that committee? Were you on that committee the previous term? Any of you, Sarah, Scott, or Sarah?
No.
Or Angie, rather?
No, I wasn't.
There was a survey done, but based on, it was on with SurveyMonkey, and what do you access? What have you been on? What do you use? That sort of thing. But as far as the defined outcomes, I'm not totally aware of the outcomes or remember the outcomes. It was quite some time ago.
Yeah, and
but
the other sorry, I was going to say the other document would be the visioning document. Is that the one I'm thinking of? An interesting process, but it ended up being a bit of a, in terms of what people want, more of a shopping list. And it was everything from a dog park to a swimming pool. Well, that's great to have on the list, but the reality is, does everybody want, how many people would want a swimming pool or a dog park, and then you get into where it would be, and et cetera. But I think it's an interesting concept that the committee might, every now and then think about how might, rather than doing a survey per se, look at from a strategic point of view, what would be beneficial to the community in the years ahead, if you put it that way, because can't do everything all in 1 year, obviously.
No.
And I don't mean the committee, I mean the municipality, in terms of, whether you have with or without grants, because not all grants are 100% as well.
I think we kind of
Right.
started to do that before, COVID.
Yeah.
We did start looking at what we could do and, where there were needs and what we could start looking at in terms of helping the community in general. Like things like the accessibility mats for the beach, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Isn't that where we
Right.
were?
Recall hearing that or seeing it in one of your minutes. On that note, Angie, when you're doing and I'm not sure at what point, so keep your eyes on the prize. When we win this, I believe the big prize is $100,000, and I don't think it's spend it however you want on recreation. But I recall seeing, I think it was in the paper recently, within the last month in North Grenville, the $100,000 that they won. They indicated where they're spending the money, and I think 2 or 3 of them might have been enhancing existing infrastructure, and another one might have been creating something. I'm not sure, but people, are always interested. Okay, so if we win the $100,000, what are we going to do with it? And maybe find out, Angie, what sorts of things the money can be spent on. Because sometimes they'll say it can't be, it can only be on new, or it can be on, fixing existing. I'm not sure, I don't want to be presumptive, but people always like to know, okay, so what do we do with the money when we get it?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
So just to clarify, so the point of having this NSAA item on the agenda was just to alert the committee to the fact that these sorts of grants exist.
Correct.
Not that we were supposed to be doing anything for this specific one.
Correct.
No.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Awesome. So we'll have a discussion about the committee meeting schedule. Can we come up with a set date? Or set time?
let
Is
me
there
go
any
grab
day
my-
that's better for instance?
I'm usually
Is it-
okay Mondays through Wednesdays. Tuesdays, Wednesdays are usually the safest for me. I don't know how that works
Okay.
with anyone else's schedules.
Scott, do you have a time frame?
Any of those evenings are probably fine, depending on what day that falls on. But a Monday or Tuesday evening is totally fine.
Okay. And Angie?
Yeah, I'm either here or I'm not. I'm retired, so my schedule is all over the place. I don't have a regular schedule, so if I know when they are, I can make myself available most of the time.
So what if we offset ours to councils? So if we had ours on the council, your council is 2nd and 4th?
Monday,
Is that
correct.
correct, Doug?
Yes, it is.
Monday, 2nd and 4th? Does it make sense if we went on the 1st or the 3rd? Not both. The 1st or the 3rd Tuesday of the.
So the 5th or
of
the
the month?
19th of April?
Pardon me?
Either the 5th or the 19th of April?
Yeah. So
I
if
could
we
do
did
either
that,
of those.
Let's go. Why don't we go for the?
Oh, I can't do the 5th. I'm sorry. I could do the 19th.
Why
Okay,
don't
and
we
that
go-
actually gives us more time, right?
Yeah, if we go for the 3rd Tuesday of every month,
Okay.
and we can always arrange extra meetings when necessary to meet deadlines.
Right.
Yeah, I
Like we
like
just
that.
did, and we don't have to have the 4 days, by the way. If we do a special meeting, we don't have to have the 4-day notice.
That's correct.
Right.
So we
Okay.
can-
So this was, okay. So we just label it as an agenda for an official meet, a special meeting.
Right.
Okay, that's good to
So-
know.
So did we go with the third Tuesdays? Is that what we said?
That works for me.
Yes. So that'll be the 19th of April. And the 16th of May would be the next one.
Okay.
Sorry, the 17th of May.
Yeah, right.
And Scott, do you have your schedule all that far ahead?
I do, just at some point I won't be able to participate in some of them just because I'll be not available if it's always on the third week in every month. But that'll be few and far between. I think it should be okay the next couple.
Oh, cool. Okay. All right. So
And
can
just
we,
if we could confirm, and 7 PM is the best time?
Yeah, that works well.
Yeah.
I could do any time, but 6 onward is easier for me.
Yeah, 7 bells is perfect.
Okay.
7 is better.
Perfect.
6 is often a real crunch time. So yeah, 7 PM is better for me.
awesome.
I did send everyone
put-
the copy of that grant application guideline booklet.
Oh, thanks, Sarah.
Thank you.
And what I will do for you is I will let, I'm not sure who it is, but staff know that it'll be the third Tuesday of every month going forward. So what they can do is book the, hopefully only one more time, but anyway, book the Zoom time, because the committee Zoom link can only be used for like one meeting at a time, if that makes sense. In other words, if the
Right.
Environmental Advisory Committee wanted to have a meeting tonight at 7 o'clock, they wouldn't be able to do it because you guys are using the committee
Right.
Zoom link. So anyway, so it'll be in the calendar. So for argument's sake, if somebody in May wants to have, a committee meeting on the third Tuesday at 7 o'clock, the answer would be, sorry, you can't, it's booked.
So
Do we have to book?
Doug, you will advise,
Sorry, Jan, you go ahead.
Doug, you're going to book that for us?
Well, I'll let staff know, so they'll put it in the calendar, yes.
Sure.
I'll do that for you.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And do we have to book the municipal room if we are in person?
So yes, when it comes to being in person, it'll be the very same thing. It'll be booked for you guys. The
Okay.
third Tuesday at 7 o'clock kind of thing. And the only reason you might get bumped if there were something like a
Holiday.
public planning meeting, and if the Provincial Planning Act is very prescriptive. You have to do it in so, depending on the application in so many days. It's not often on a Tuesday, but that would then be the only thing that would bump you. Unless the building was on fire, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, we'll hope for that. We'll hope that does not happen.
Anyway,
The building on fire.
I think important to the point being, yeah, so, the Zoom will be booked as long as you have to do Zoom. As soon as we can do in person, it'll automatically be booking the council chambers for you.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Is there any new business? Does anybody have any new business?
I don't have anything for this evening.
No, me neither. I think that was a good, I think this participation is going to be our main
Yeah.
project on the
Exactly.
go right now.
Exactly. That's perfect. And Angie, you're good?
Yep.
Perfect. So we have our next meeting date is the 19th of April,
Okay.
correct?
At 7
April
PM.
19th at 7 PM. Yeah. And unless there's anything else,
How
we'll
about
go to adjournment.
just an information thing I'll share with you? I'm sure you've
Sure.
all heard about the America Wolford stands with Ukraine, and the kickoff was on Sunday. And even before they tabulated how much money they were hoping to make on the Sunday kickoff at Main Street Family Restaurant, apparently they'd already raised $7,500. And the Main Street event, not just the people that had dinner there or meals there, but also the takeout, apparently they made $5,000.
Oh my
So
goodness.
Wow.
their goal, and how do you pick a number? But anyway, the goal that they were looking forward to is $15,000. So I think as of midnight Sunday, kind of thing, they were already at $12,000. So
Wow.
a lot of enthusiasm. Robin Fredrickson at the coffee shop, I was in there this morning, and I said, "Are you having your oh, what am I looking for? A moment. The not tortillas. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What's the dish that they're serving? An Hungarian dish? I'm just having a moment.
Were they doing goulash somewhere?
No, it's not goulash. The potato.
Oh, pierogies.
Thank you, pierogi. I was just having a moment. Pierogies, and she says, well, she's making them, they're frozen, but she said she's already sold out whatever number they're making till next Wednesday.
Wow.
Wow.
I know. It's
Where's
because,
that out of?
the coffee shop, Village Bean.
Village Bean.
And
Okay.
there's something like 15 businesses that are doing various things. Myrtle and Mirth, I think they had an auction on something or other. Another store is contributing 2% of their sales. I don't know whether that's over the 3 weeks or on certain days. But anyway, just thought I would share that. It's
Yeah, I'm doing the Ukrainian egg painting class next week at the church.
oh, nice.
Yeah, there are a couple of people doing that. That's awesome.
Anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you. Sorry to interrupt as you get to the close
No,
of your
that's-
meeting.
No, that's great news.
That's good news. Yeah. Okay, so do we have a motion to adjourn?
Yeah, we do.
And I can second that.
Awesome. And then the meeting's adjourned. Thank you. Thanks to everybody for great input and I can hardly wait.
Yeah. Good meeting. Good meeting.
Yeah.
Thanks again for your help, Doug. For
You're more than
it set up
welcome.
for us.
Yep, you're
And
very
I
welcome.
will I'll work for Kirsten to be able to set it up for the next time. Okay.
Yep, sounds like a plan.
That's great.
All
Take
right.
care, everyone.
Thanks,
Good night,
thanks,
everybody.
everyone.
Good night. Good
Good
night,
night.
Scott. Good night,
Bye
Scare.
now.
Night,
Good
Andy.
night.
Good night. Good night, John boy.
Good night.
Now I have to
Night.
figure out how to turn this off.
Push the red button. No. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.